Hello students, let's continue with the numerical part of the chapter 15, Structure of Atoms and Nuclei. Before proceeding, just let's go through the important formulas that we will use here. First one, 1 upon lambda is equal to r in bracket 1 upon n square minus 1 upon m square. The detailed discussion we have done for all the formulas. Here we are just going through it. The value of RH we are taking by using the formula Me e raised to 4 upon 8c epsilon naught h cube. Then next, by using the Bohr's first postulate, mv square upon r is equal to ze square upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square, and hence in general it is to be given as me vn square upon rn is equal to ze square upon 4 pi epsilon naught rn square. By using the Bohr's second postulate, we are obtaining the formula Me Vn Rn is equal to n h upon 2 pi, and by using the third postulate we are having the formula h nu is equal to Em minus En. Then next, from the expression to determine the radii of the Bohr orbit, we are having the formula Rn is equal to n square h square epsilon naught upon pi me ze square. And the same we can write Rn is equal to A0 into n square, where A0 is nothing but h square epsilon naught upon pi m ze square there. Then the velocity of the revolving electron in any orbit can also be determined by using the formula Vn is equal to ze square upon 2 epsilon naught hn. The energy of the electron revolving in any orbit is to be given by the formula En is equal to minus me z square e raised to 4 upon 8 epsilon naught h square n square. And to make our calculation simple, we are using the another formula also, that is En is equal to minus 13.6 z square upon n square electron volt, where 13.6 electron volt is the value of Me e raised to 4 upon 8 epsilon naught h square there. After that, from the radioactive decay law, we are having Nt is equal to N0 e raised to minus lambda t, and in the same format activity, that is a disintegration per unit time or disintegration rate, activity At is equal to A0 e raised to minus lambda t. Then mean half lifetime is also to be determined by using the formula T half is equal to ln2 upon lambda, where it is to be given also as 0.693 upon lambda, as the value of ln2 is 0.693 there, and lambda is said to be the decay constant, and the mean life is to be related with the decay constant. It is inversely proportional to it, and hence it is to be given as mean life tau is equal to 1 upon lambda. And finally, here we can relate the half life time and the mean life by using the formula as T half is equal to tau ln2, and finally we can write it as T half is equal to 0.693 tau. Now let's proceed further. Now the next unsolved numerical, question number 19 from the textbook, is disintegration rate of a sample is 10 raised to 10 per hour at 20 hours from the start. It reduces to 6.3 into 10 raised to 9 per hour after 30 hours. Calculate its half-life and the initial number of radioactive atoms in the sample. Over here, the disintegration rate of a sample is given. This disintegration rate, that means the disintegration per unit time, which is also called as the activity. This activity is given 10 raised to 10 per hour for the time which is to be given 20 hours. That means at the 20 hours, the disintegration rate is to be found 10 raised to 10 per hour there. And after that, as the disintegration starts there, so it will be reduces to 10 raised to 10 per hour to 6.3 into 10 raised to 9 per hour after each 30 hours there. So here we have to determine what will be the half-life in the sample as well as what is the initial number of the radioactive atoms present in the sample there. Let's see the solution. So first of all, the first activity is given at time t. So it is to be written as A1 T1 is equal to 10 raised to 10 per hour for time T1, which is given as 20 hours. And second activity is given when disintegration will start, so that the sample will be reduces to 6.3 into 10 raised to 9 per hour. So second activity A2 T2 is to be written as 6.3 into 10 raised to 9 per hour. For T2, the second time is given T2 for this activity is 30 hours. As over here, the time is to be given for this disintegration in hours, and hence we are not going to convert these hours into second there. The answer that we are determining for the half-life, it would be come into the hours only. So let's proceed further. After writing the given data, here we have to see that we have to find out the half-life of the sample and also the initial number of the radioactive atoms. So half-life we are denoting as T half and initial number of the radioactive atoms we are denoting as N0. That means here we have to determine the value of T half and N0 there. The formula will be used here to solve the numerical is activity AT is equals to A0 e raised to minus lambda T, that we are going to determine, and T half is equals to 0.693 upon lambda, as well as this A0 having the value lambda N0. So the third equation, the third formula we will use over here is AT is equals to lambda N0 e raised to minus lambda T. So these are the formula that we will use here to solve the numerical. Let's start the calculation part. So from the first formula, that is AT is equals to A0 e raised to minus lambda T, we can write AT1 is equal to A0 e raised to minus lambda T1 and hence substitute the value. So we are getting the equation number 1. As AT1 is given 10 raised to 10 hour, 10 raised to 10 per hour, A0 we are writing as it is, e raised to minus lambda T1. So minus lambda we are writing as it is, the value of T1 is 20 hours there. So equation 1 becomes 10 raised to 10 is equals to A0 e raised to minus 20 lambda. Then by using the same formula number 1, we can also write for the second activity, that is A T2 is equals to A0 e raised to minus lambda T2. The value of A T2 is nothing but 6.3 into 10 raised to 9 per hour, and value of T2 is given 30 hours. So over here, the second equation we are formulating as 6.3 into 10 raised to 9 is equal to A0 e raised to minus 30 lambda. Let's divide equation 1 by equation 2. So over here, on the left hand side we are getting 10 raised to 10 upon 6.3 into 10 raised to 9 over there, and A0 will be cancelled. The factor e raised to minus 20 lambda divided by e raised to minus 30 lambda. So the denominator factor e raised to minus 30 lambda in the numerator becomes e raised to plus 30 lambda. That means it will be e raised to minus 20 lambda into e raised to 30 lambda, and hence we can write it as e raised to minus 20 lambda plus 30 lambda, which gives us e raised to 10 lambda. So over here we are getting 10 raised to 10 is equal 10 raised to 10 upon 6.3 into 10 raised to 9 is equal to e raised to 10 lambda. In the next step, here we are taking the natural logarithm on both the sides. So as we are taking the natural logarithm, so left hand side is to be written as ln in bracket this term, that is 10 raised to 10 upon 6.3 into 10 raised to 9. And on the right hand side, here only the power of exponential we are supposed to write there, as we had applied the natural logarithm on both the side. So this ln into e will become 1, and hence only the power factor of e we are supposed to write over here as a result of ln into e there. So it will be only 10 lambda. Then this ln is to be converting into log, and hence here we have to multiply the factor by 2.303 also. So ln of the bracket is to be written as 2.303 log 10 raised to 10 upon 6.3 into 10 raised to 9. As you can see, this 10 raised to 10 upon 10 raised to 9 becomes only 10. So in the next step it is to be done like ln of the bracket is to be written as 2.303 log 10 upon 6.3, and that must be is equals to 10 lambda. Now let's solve this value, log of 10 upon 6.3, and hence after solving this value we have to multiply with 2.303, and we are getting it as 0.4621, and this value must be is equal to 10 lambda. That means in the next step we can write down the value of lambda. That means 0.4621 must be divided by 10, and hence the lambda we are getting, the decay constant we are getting as 0.04621. After determining the value of the decay constant, here we have to use second formula to determine the half-life time period, that is T half, which is to be given as 0.693 upon lambda. So we have done all this procedure to determine the value of lambda. So let's substitute the value of lambda in this formula. Hence T half becomes 0.693 upon 0.04621. Let's solve this ratio, and hence we are getting the value of 0.693 upon 0.04621 near about 15 hours. That means the half life over here we are getting as of the sample 15 hours. Now after that, let's determine the initial number of the radioactive atoms in the sample. So here we are using the third formula, that is AT is equals to lambda n0 e raised to minus lambda t. So for the first activity we can write it as AT1 is equal to lambda n0 e raised to minus lambda t1, and let's substitute the value of, as AT1 is 10 raised to 10 per hour. Lambda we have got as 0.0462. N0 we have to determine. E raised to minus lambda T1 is there. That means e raised to minus value of lambda here we have to write as 0.0462 into T1 is given 20 hours. So here we have to multiply with 20. Now in the next step here we can write, as we have to determine N0. So we can write N0 at one side and the all remaining terms on the other side. So this N0 will be is equal to, it becomes 10 raised to 10 upon 0.0462 into e raised to 0.0462 into 20 becomes 0.924. As the power of e is minus over here, but when it will go on the another side, so it will become plus. So it is to be written as e raised to plus 0.924. Then next over here we have to take the reciprocal of the 0.0462 over there and multiply with 10 raised to 10. So we are getting the value as 2.1645 into 10 raised to 11. Into multiplication factor, e raised to 0.924 is there. So in the next step here, what we are doing? We are writing N0 upon 2.1645 into 10 raised to 11. And on another side, we are keeping the exponential factor there. As we have to remove the exponential term, so here we are taking the natural logarithm on both the side. So this on the left hand side we are getting the value. Take ln, natural logarithm of this term, is equal to e raised to 0.924. After applying the natural logarithm, only the power which will be takes place of e is there. We have to write that power only. So the value we are having 0.924. So on the right hand side here, to remove the e, we had applied the natural logarithm and hence it becomes 0.924 there. Then this ln is to be written as 2.303 log of the bracket and hence must be is equal to 0.924. Let's determine the value of N0 now. So here we are writing the 2.303. We are shifting on RHS. So it becomes log N0 upon 2.1645 into 10 raised to 11 must be is equals to 0.924 upon 2.303. This ratio 0.924 upon 2.303 comes 0.4012. Then the next step here we have to take anti-log on both the side. So as we are taking the anti-log on both the side, so here we have to write as anti-log of log this bracket is equal to anti-log of 0.4012. As we have to remove this value, as we have to remove the log over there to determine the value of N0, that's why we have applied the anti-log on both the side. So the left hand side we can write now N0 upon 2.1645 into 10 raised to 11. And on the right hand side we have to take the anti-log of 0.4012, which comes to us 2.519. And then finally here we have to rearrange the equation again to determine the value of N0. So to get the value of N0, the denominator factor from the left hand side must be multiplied with 2.519 on right hand side. So it is to be written as N0 is equal to 2.1645 into 10 raised to 11 multiply with 2.519. and this multiplication will gives us the value 5.452 into 10 raised to 11. That means over here we are getting the initial number of atoms which was present as 5.452 into 10 raised to 11, and hence we can conclude our final answer. The half-life of the sample is 15 hours, and second, the initial number of radioactive atoms is 5.452 into 10 raised to 11. So this is the solution of the unsolved numerical from the textbook question number 19. Now, the next unsolved numerical from the textbook, question number 20 is, the isotope cobalt having mass number 57 decays by electron capture to iron mass number 57 with a half-life of 272 days. The iron nucleus is produced in an excited state and it almost instantaneously emits gamma rays. A. Find the mean life and decay constant for cobalt. B. If the activity of a radiation source cobalt is 2.0 microcurie, now how many cobalt nuclei does the source contain? C. What will be the activity after 1 year? In this question, it is given that the isotope of the cobalt decays by the electron capture and converted into the iron there, and it will take place the half-life of the 272 days there. And here we have to determine the mean life and decay constant for the cobalt over there when the iron nucleus is produced in an excited state and is almost instantaneously emits the gamma rays over there. So in this reaction over here we are finding the emission of the gamma rays there, and hence we have to determine the mean life and decay constant for the cobalt. Then next we have to determine how many cobalt nuclei does the source contain when the activity of the radiation source cobalt is given 2.0 microcurie. And the last one we have to determine the activity after 1 year. Let's see the solution for this numerical. First of all, here we have to write down the given data. As in the question, it is given that the cobalt by capturing the electron is converting into iron in 272 days, the half-life of the nuclear reaction. Now over here the half-life of the nuclear reaction is 272 days, which is we have to convert it into second. So this 272 we have to first multiply with 24 to convert into hour, then multiply with 60 to convert into minute, and finally multiply with 60 again to convert the half-life into second. So over here we can write the half-life of the nuclear reaction T half is 272 into 24 into 60 into 60 second, and the multiplication gives us the value 2.35 into 10 raised to 7 second there. Then next it is given that the activity of a radiation source cobalt is 2.0 microcurie. The activity is also known as the disintegration rate. So dNT upon dt is equals to 2.0 microcurie. Now this microcurie is to be converting into curie, as well as the curie is to be converting into the decay per second. So microcurie is to be converting into decay per second by multiplying the factor 3.7 into 10 raised to 10 into 10 raised to minus 6. Here 3.7 into 10 raised to 10 decay per second is nothing but the value of 1 curie there. And micro is to be converted over here by multiplying 10 raised to minus 6. So the disintegration rate or activity is to be now given as 7.4 into 10 raised to 4 per second there, as we have to multiply 2.0 and 3.7 with 10 raised to 10 and 10 raised to minus 6. So we are getting the disintegration rate or the activity over here as 7.4 into 10 raised to 4 second. Now next, after writing the given data, here we have to find first of all the mean life of the cobalt, that is the value of tau we have to determine. Then the decay constant of the cobalt, that is the lambda we have to calculate. After that, the number of the nuclei of cobalt, the value of n we have to determine over here. And finally, here we have to calculate what will be the activity after 1 year. Let's see the formula that we will use here to solve the numerical. First of all, as we know that the relationship between the mean life and half-life time, it is to be given as tau is equal to T half upon 0.693. Then another relation we are having, lambda is equal to 1 upon tau there. So by using the first formula, we can calculate the mean life where we are using the half-life of the nuclear reaction. And by using the second formula, here as we had calculated the value of the mean life, we can calculate the decay constant of cobalt there. The next formula here we have to use, by using the decay law, number of nuclei of cobalt, n we are supposed to determine. So it is to be taken as the ratio of disintegration rate to the decay constant. So Nt is equals to, here we are just taking the magnitude value, that's why the modulus of dNt upon dt, that is to be divided by lambda. And finally, to determine the activity after a year, here we have to use the formula At is equal to A0 e raised to minus lambda t. Let's move towards the calculation part. So from the first formula, that is tau is equal to T half upon 0.693. Let's substitute the value of T half there. As we had already calculated the value of the T half, which comes to us 2.35 into 10 raised to 7 second. So let's substitute the value here in a formula, and the value after the substitution we are getting tau is equal to 2.35 into 10 raised to 7 divided by 0.693 second. So here we are getting the mean life of the cobalt tau as 3.391 into 10 raised to 7 second after calculating the ratio. After getting the value of the mean life, let's calculate the decay constant by using the second formula. As lambda is equal to 1 upon tau, or we can say that the decay constant is reciprocal of mean life. So over here we are getting the value of the mean life as 3.391 into 10 raised to second there. Let's take its reciprocal, so we will get the value of lambda, that is the decay constant. And hence, to solve this, over here we are taking the reciprocal of the mean life, and finally we are getting the value of the decay constant lambda as 2.945 into 10 raised to minus 8 per second there. So here by using the formula 1 and 2, we had determined the mean life and decay constant of cobalt there. Now the next is, as for the number of nuclei when the activity is given 2 microcurie, then by using the third equation, that is Nt is equals to dNt upon dt divided by lambda. Here dNt upon dt, we had calculated, we had converted the value 2.0 microcurie into decays per second. So over there we had converted the value of this curie into decays per second, and hence we have to substitute the value here. So we are getting the value of dNt upon dt as 7.4 into 10 raised to 4 per second there. The value of the lambda we had already calculated, and it comes to us 2.945 into 10 raised to minus 8 per second there. Let's calculate this value. So here we are using the log calculation, and hence this 10 raised to minus 8 in the numerator becomes 10 raised to 8. And 10 raised to 4 into 10 raised to 8 is to be written as 10 raised to 12. This 10 raised to 12 we are writing as it is in each step there. The ratio we are having 7.4 divided by 2.95. As we are solving this ratio by using the log, so here we have to first of all write down the anti-log, then log of a upon b, which is equal to log a minus log b. So here we have to write anti-log of log 7.4 minus log 2.945. Then into 10 raised to 12 we are writing as it is out of the bracket. In the next step, here we are supposed to write down the value of the log 7.4, which is 0.8692, and also write down the value of the log 2.945, which is 0.4690. Then after writing these values, here we have to do the subtraction, and then we have to take its antilog, and out of the bracket 10 raised to 12 we are supposed to write as it is. So after the subtraction we are getting the value 0.4002. So in the next step we have to write antilog of 0.40022 and out of the bracket into 10 raised to 12. Let's see the antilog of 0.4002 there. And we are getting the value of this antilog as 2.513. So over here the multiplication factor is already present, so we have to multiply with 10 raised to 12.
Will be 2
and finally we are getting the number of nuclei of cobalt as 2.513 into 10 raised to 12.
We are getting as
after calculating this, next we have to calculate the activity after 1 year.
That means the activity
and
after
hence here we are using the formula
0.7
that is to be given
02
AT is equal to A0 e raised to minus lambda t.
The activity after 1 year also.
The first activity, here we can write it as AT1
answer
is equal to A0 e raised to minus lambda t1
into 10 raised to 7
and
seconds.
After 1 year the time t2 will be is equal to this t1 plus 1 year there, because we are calculating the after 1 year, so we have to calculate, we have to add plus 1 in the previous year. So previous time is given as t1, in that we have to add 1 year more there. So after 1 year the time t2 will be previous time plus 1 year there. Okay, so it is to be written as t1 plus 1
This
year.
is the solution,
and hence the activity after 1 year is to be written as at2 is equal to a0 e raised to minus lambda t2, where the value of t2 is nothing but t1 plus 1 there.
In the next lecture.
Then
thank you.
We have to determine the value of this activity AT2 there, which is nothing but the activity after 1 year there. Let's proceed further. Here this A0 we are writing as it is, and e raised to minus lambda in bracket t1 plus 1 is there. So it will be minus lambda t1 into e raised to minus lambda into 1 we can write. That means we are getting A0 into e raised to minus lambda t1 into e raised to minus lambda 1 there. Let's calculate it. A0 e raised to minus lambda t1 we are writing as it is, and over here e raised to minus lambda we are having. So this value, as already we are having the value of this lambda, which is 2.945 into 10 raised to minus 8. But here the time is to be given into the year, which must be converting into the second day. That's why we have to multiply this factor with 365 into 24 into 60 into 60. Here we are converting year into the second day. And finally over here the value we are getting of the multiplication, e raised to minus 2.945 into 10 raised to minus 8 into 365 into 24 into 60 into 60 as 0.3951. After writing this value, our equation becomes AT2 is equal to A0 e raised to minus lambda t1 into 0.3951. Now, as we know that A0 e raised to minus lambda t1 is nothing but the 2 microcurie. That is the number of nuclei when the activity before 1 year is 2 microcurie is there. As T1 is mentioned, that means we are talking about the previous year. That is the A0 e raised to minus lambda T1 is nothing but 2 microcurie there. And hence over here we are supposed to write down the value. So the AT2 will be 2 microcurie into 0.3951. And the multiplication we are having of 2 into 0.3951 we are getting as 0.7902 into microcurie is there. That means the activity after 1 year AT2 is given as 0.7902 microcurie. So here we have calculated the activity after 1 year also, and let's see, we can write down our final answer as mean lifetime of cobalt is, we are getting 3.391 into 10 raised to 7 second. Then next, decay constant of cobalt, mass number 57, we are obtaining as 2.945 into 10 raised to minus 8 per second. Then next, initial nuclei number is obtained 2.513 into 10 raised to 12. And finally, activity after 1 year is there 0.7902 microcurie. This is the solution of unsolved numerical from the textbook, question number 20. The remaining numericals will be solved next time in the next lecture. Thank you.